means so much to me that you clicked on this video. This is a very classic gold smoke. Let's start with the brows. So I'm using the P. Louise Brow Balm to really push the brow hairs upwards and then use a spatula to lay them down. This is going to make sure they stay in place all day and give a really beautiful laminated effect. I'm keeping the brows pretty natural for this look. Whenever I do heavy face makeup or eye makeup, I like to keep the brows natural. And then I'm just going to define the tail of the brow with a brow pencil just to give it a bit of shape, give it a bit more structure. Then I'm going to use the P. Louise Brow Paint to just fill in the areas of the brows that are sparse. Now it's time to carve underneath our brow with an eye base. This is going to really help make our brow structured, clean, neat, and very defined and precise. Take your time. I'm using a flat brush. This is the best type of brush to use to carve underneath your brow. Then I'm going to use the same eye base to prep my lid. The foundation of every good eye look is a well-prepped eyelid. The P. Louise eye base is excellent for this. I pat the base until it's matte, and now it's time to go in with our blend. So I make 2 dots, one at the end of the lash line and run right in the center just like this. And then I connect those 2 dots. This is called mapping out my shape, and it's going to help me make sure that my shape stays circular. The best approach to blending eyeshadow is to start off with a circular shape and then slowly add more shadow a little bit at a time, really building up that color and that depth. It's time to add our second shade right on top of our first shade. We're going from darkest to lightest. It's so important to make sure that you focus on the edges, making sure that they are super diffused. I'm going in now with my third shade and then back in with my second shade. Use light pressures to build up the colors, and now we're going back in with our first shade. So it goes from darkest to lightest and then from lightest back to darkest. We're going to sharpen the edge of our blend with a little bit of concealer on a flat fluffy brush. This is important because it gives our blend some shape and some definition. Just make sure that you're not using too much concealer when you're doing this. We just want just enough to make that edge of our blend nice and sharp. It's time for pigment, the most glamorous part of our eye look today. I'm using a liquid eyeshadow today. It's the Color Fix by Danessa Myricks. I'm using a little bit at a time. That's the key to applying any eye makeup. Just apply a little bit at a time. I'm starting off low, building the color upwards. And then I'm going to use a tiny brush like this to make sure that the liquid eyeshadow is blended in with our powder eyeshadow. Once we have our liquid pigment on, I like to go in with a loose pigment right on top. This just gives it so much more dimension and makes it even more glittery, sparkly, and dramatic. So now I'm just going to make sure that our blend that we've done, our powder eyeshadow, is perfectly blended in with our liquid pigment. It's so important that there isn't a harsh line there, that there is a seamless gradient. I'm going to apply a primer because making sure that the foundation, our base, stays on all day is very important to me as an artist. Hydro Grip is great for that. It really grips onto your foundation. This is the MAC Studio Fix Fluid Foundation. It's always going to be a classic, a staple in my kit. It just has an amazing coverage. It's excellent for full glam, heavy glam. Loading on this Too Faced concealer underneath the eyes for a bright under eye, and I'm also using a darker shade of the same concealer to bronze my model's face, give her a little bit of warmth, dimension. It's very subtle, very pretty. Now it's time for lips. I love tying together my glam with a really gorgeous lip combo. I'm starting off with liner. Morphe Color Pencil is so good to line the lips. And then I'm going to blend in the P. Louise lip base into my lip liner for a very seamless gradient between my lip liner and my lip base using a dense, small, fluffy brush. Before I finish off my lip, I'm just going to quickly go back and set underneath the eyes with the Morphe setting powder. I added these very gorgeous glamorous lashes, and now I just want to add some shadow underneath the eyes as well, just to tie together the whole eye look. Back to lips. I love using lip gloss to tie together all the lip combos that I create, and I use a flat brush for precision. I lighter right on top of where I applied the bronzer. I'm just using a little bit at a time so it's not streaky, and then I like to reinforce my bronzer with a little bit of powder, and then melt everything together with some setting spray. Let me know what you think about this final look. It would mean so much to me if you left a comment, and it would mean even more to me if you subscribed. Thank you so much for supporting my channel, and if you want to book, my booking link is in my bio in my Instagram. I hope you have an amazing rest of your day today, and please stay tuned for my next video. See ya!